My name is Carlos Alberto Rodriguez Santos. Some important events on the last decade has been in 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from an imprisonment of 27 years. In 1991, the Operation Desert Storm. In 2001, in 9/11, the World Trade Center were attacked. In 2002, the Beltway sniper attacks take place over 3-week killing spree. 2003 Space Shuttle Columbia explodes. 2004 New Paltz Mayor marries some 25 same-sex couples. Massachusetts become the first United States to legalize same-sex marriage. 2005 The Hurricane Katrina hits. 2006 Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, is killed by a stingray barb. 2007, Barry Bonds breaks the record of most home runs. In 2011, Osama bin Laden is killed. The globalization is the development of any increasingly integrated global economy marked especially by free trade, free flow of capital, and the tapping of cheaper foreign labor markets. Globalization is the spread of products, technology, information, and jobs across national borders and cultures. In economic terms, it describes an interdependence of nations around the globe fostered through the free trade. Terrorism. The terrorism remains a contested term with no set definition for the concept of or broad agreement among academic experts on its usage. Bruce Hoffman of Georgetown University has defined terrorism as violence or equally important threats of violence used and directed in pursuit of or in service of a political aim. Similarly, Louis Richardson of Oxford University believes terrorism is a deliberated and violently targeting civilians for political purposes. Unipolar world. Unipolarism, that is the concentration of power in one single country or polar, as the United States of America, and in its most strict sense, this does not mean that the new superpower has absolute power over the entire globe, but that it is considered as the major player in international affairs. As such, the USA stands as the country with the strongest economy and the military capacity in the world. The digital era, also called the Third Industrial Revolution, it is the era of digital electronic equipment that started around the 1980s and is still continuing. The digital revolution or informatics is another phenomenon that has marked our era since the invention of the television and the telephone. The continual development of the internet has also marked a profound change in education, on labor and personal level. The widespread diffusion of telecommunications and computer technology that is creating entirely new ways of working and socializing as well as challenging and even destroying many others. Why did globalization emerge? The emergence of globalization was introduced to promote inherent wealth among all countries in the world. The United States has notably been identified as the leader in globalization after the World War II. Main reasons that have caused globalization is the improvement of transport, making global travel easier. For example, there has been a rapid growth in air travel, enabling greater movement of people and goods across the globe. In most cases, what caused the terrorist attacks of the 20th century? Political and social issues because the world wasn't stable enough after many wars and conflicts. Also, with globalization ideas were spreading and people all around the world start having new ideas between these ideas of solving problems with violence for making it faster and easier. That's why the number of terrorists were up in the sky in these years. How does the end of the Cold War relate with unipolar world? The world was bipolar because it was between socialism and capitalism Cold War. But the end of this war meant that the winner was capitalism. That's why capitalism since then practically have been dominate all the world, and by capitalism I mean is United States, because as we seen before it became the most important country in the world. How has digital era influenced today's society? The internet itself has been transformed in its real early days, which from a historical perspective are still relatively recent. It was a static network designed to shuffle a small flight of bytes or a short message between two terminals. It was a repository of information where content was published and maintained only by expert coders. Today, however, immense quantities of information are uploaded and downloaded over this electronic leviathan, and then content is very much our own. In the 1980s and 1990s, the internet widened in scope to encompass the IT capabilities of universities and research centers, and later on public entities, institutions, and private enterprises from around the world. The internet underwent immense growth. It was no longer a state-controlled project, but the largest computer network in the world, comprising over 50,000 subnetworks on 4 million systems and 70 million users. Thanks very much.